Okay, so we know the basic setup of our critical path, and what we do from here is we work out the earliest start times. So each activity gets drawn in a box, and that box has 3 smaller boxes underneath it. The middle box is for the duration, and duration just means how long it takes. So in the case of A, its duration is 4 weeks. Then looking at our picture, we're going to have B that comes out of A. Same little box, duration goes in, and also C that comes from A. It makes a surprising amount of difference if you actually have all of the things going across the page, and tends to rule out a lot of the mistakes that happen. So D, it happens next. So again, it gets this little box, and we get the duration for D, which is 2, and that's coming from C and B. So as time passes, you're going across your page. We then have E, and E's got a duration of 1, F has a duration of 1, and G has a duration of 2. So even where we've got more than one thing happening, they can all happen at the same time, so they basically form a column. We then go across to H, and H has a duration of 1 and is coming out of those 3. I and J are coming next. I has a duration of 2, J has a duration of 1, and then we've got K at the end as our final box. So if you don't have a single final box, you then end up with one that has end written in it, but in this case we don't need that because we've got one that's got just K. So from there, what we're going to need to do is work out our earliest start times. So our earliest start times are the earliest time that something can happen. So if we're working out the earliest time things can happen, we are going to have to factor in what else has to happen first. So before A, there isn't anything that has to happen first, so this one's going to be 0. For B and C to start, A has to have finished. So if A starts at 0 and has a duration of 4 weeks, then B can't start until A's 4 weeks have finished. So B is going to be 4 weeks, and the earliest time that B and C can start is that 4 weeks. Now D is a little bit more complicated because D has to wait for B to finish and for C to finish. So B can start at 4 weeks, is going to take 3 weeks, so B will have actually finished at 7 weeks. C takes 4 weeks, starts at 4 weeks, takes 5 weeks, so won't have finished until 9 weeks. So we have D. When we're working out what time D can start, it has to wait for both of these. If it starts at 7, or if it tries to start at 7, C isn't ready yet, so we have to wait for the slowest thing. So D can't start until it's weighted for both of these. So if D starts at 9, takes 2, these guys can all start as soon as D's finished. D will be finished 2 weeks after 9, so these will all have an earlier start time of 11. We've then got H. H has to wait for all of these. E starts at 11 and takes a week, so will be finished by 12. Starts at 11, takes a week, so will be finished by 12. And G starts at 11, takes 2 weeks, so doesn't finish till 13. So again, we have to wait for our slowest thing to happen. So H can't start until we get to 13. H will finish 1 week after 13, which means I and J can both start 1 week after, so they'll start at 14. K has to wait for both I and J, so I is 14 and takes 2, so that will be 16.